boys and girls? Why do I do these things to myself? Well, you know what? I should not start it off that way because we never know what the talent brings to the table on STP. We are we are usually very pleasantly surprised on the differences because this is Stirring the Pot with Don Kincaid and my very special guest on a fine Tuesday evening. He's 1/5 of the Battle Academy, Hunter Tarca. Welcome to the show, my friend. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you for having me, man. I'm very excited for this.
Yes, we love excited talent because we love the fans because this isn't for me. This is for everybody, all the fans. We get to learn more about the talent because when we're at the merch tables, getting an autograph or grabbing a T-shirt or something, we only speak to you guys and girls for a little bit. So that's what this forum is to learn a little bit about the talent outside the ring. Maybe pull back the curtain a little bit if you allow us. We'll see how that goes. But that's what it's really about. I don't write a damn thing down. I I prep for no one, and I just hit the record button and live on the edge, my man. You see me at the shows. That's what we do.
Oh, yeah, I'd say. Yeah.
I was trying to find the perfect shirt for one Hunter Tarca, and I just felt this was as perfect as I could get because it's a very associated at PAPW, your home base, if you will, at PAPW, Paradise Alley Pro Wrestling. For those that don't know, East Haven, Connecticut. Look them up. They got a great training facility over there. Paul Roma, Mario Mancini and company, doing a fine job molding young talent. You've already known. You've seen the Wallers. You've seen the Miracle Gen collectively. Kylon King, the Haven. On this show, we speak about PAPW all the time. And here we are right here, boys and girls. So let's kind of start right there. We've had a couple members previous to Hunter, and I apologize you weren't the first, but there's a reason for that. We'll get into that later. PAPW, a fine training facility, Paul Roma, Mario Mancini. Let's start right there because you're a young talent and rising very fast along with the rest of your cohorts, Battle Academy. So talk to us, the fans, because we're not athletes, sir. We're not in there training. That's why we have the fans on. Talk to us about the training over at PAPW, how it's really helped your career and molded you into where you are now.
Well, it's broken down in a couple days. Monday nights we work with Mario Mancini. He's very much about the fundamentals. Making sure you bump right, making sure you can do the bills, you can do the basic stuff, and then when you get to Wednesdays and Saturdays with Mr. Roma, it's about technique, and he's very detail oriented. He's very much sees every little thing that you might have, like if your foot was in the wrong spot, it could be as small as that. He'll see it. He sees it. He sees everything. So. He really and he's a perfectionist, and he makes us that way with our technique also.
Oh, that's actually amazing to hear. I've asked this question from multiple talents from PAPW because it's very similar, but a little different, especially the way you just put it with Mr. Roma, breaking it down if the foot is in the wrong position. Those little tiny details that polish a professional wrestler, especially at a young tenure as yourself, Skylar Gray, Jake Lynn. I like to call my buddy Nick. Love to call my buddy Nick. And one, Lorenzo Vendetta, that kid, built, looking fantastic. And the leader, if you will, is one Chris Battle because he is a veteran. He's the elder statesman, if you will, in the Battle Academy. And we're definitely going to get into that. But the training at PAPW, they seem to really be producing some hot, really good talent right now because, again, I just went through the whole list of Miracle Generation. But we also have the likes of Zachariah Gibbs. We have the likes of collectively the Battle Academy that I just said. We have Baylor's a bum. We have the likes of Greg Baylor. And I'm going to tell you a secret, and I hope nobody tells him. And this is just between me and you, okay? Nobody else can hear this. I do call Baylor a bum every chance I get when I see him live, even on the face page. But that kid looks absolutely fantastic. Oh, my God, he looks amazing, doing things right. Again, training at PAPW. but please don't tell him I said that. I just really do think he looks fantastic in the ring. Looks like a professional wrestler, and he's a gorgeous kid. Shh.
Oh, absolutely not. Well, I would never say that to him ever.
Okay, thank you so much. But the molding the young talent is what you look for as a fan. For me specifically, because I want to get to know new talent that are upcoming, and you guys as a clan, as a collective battle academy, you guys have made your mark so quick, and you're all trained at PAPW. But besides Aroma and Mr. Mancini, we also have the likes of Chris Battle that is really taking you guys and girls under your wing as well. Speak to us about Mr. Battle, because that guy, man, he's got a good brain for wrestling, you know?
Yeah, no, he's there's no other guy that I would want to be associated with. He's, he's another one of those guys that he's been in business almost 20 years. He's been all over the place, wrestled, guys like Brian Danielson and Tommaso Ciampa. He's been in the rings with those guys. He has so much knowledge for what we do. And it's a pleasure to be at his side and to learn from a guy like that, as well as the Mario and Paul, as you said.
Yeah.
Having those three guys as your teacher, good things are going to happen to you. All you got to do is have your ears on,
Mouth shut, ears open, correct?
100%. 100%.
That's what they say in the business, right? Is shut your mouth, keep your ears open, you'll do fine. You can ask questions or what have you, because you want to have the students ask questions. But first, keep it closed, keep those ears open, be a sponge, my man, be a sponge. And that's I've actually done that from promotion to promotion, and tried to get the etiquette of where the lines are, where me as a fan, I know some of the boys out there and some of the girls, they say like, I'm part of the family at X promotion and I'm one of the boys at time. And I can never even thank them enough for even saying those words to me as a fan. I mean, what I do or what I don't do, just love that absolute privilege and honor when they say shit like that. But I know when I never knew I was going to be doing all of this stuff, right? I'm a fan. I'm just kind of doing clips. I'm starting to, just tag wrestlers and stuff. So I was the same way, to be honest with you, as a fan. I kind of kept my eyes open and I just listened a lot. And I did ask questions, especially to a couple of the fans that were regulars at some of these promotions. But I wanted to learn the etiquette, where the lines were, how I'm supposed to act around, the talents, because I know there's etiquette in wrestling. Learning these things, I know you guys are doing it very correctly. And I can't thank you and the Battle Academy collectively, really, with all bullshit aside. You guys have really kind of accepted my ridiculousness and my silliness and all of the dumb shit that I do. And you've taken it in and you've utilized it with the fans, with myself, and surrounding surrounding situations. And I really do want to thank you so much for that. I do.
Well, thank you, and we're very appreciative for what you do. Also, when you post, I know I speak for myself here. When you post your matches, or Fogman posts it, or whoever's posting, I go back and I use that as a tool to help myself get better as well. I like game film, like in football, you got film days. I go back and watch. Oh, I could have done this better, or I could have done this better, or maybe I should have done this move. So we're very thankful for you also for what you do in that aspect.
The fan wrestler thing is a dance in its own. But when it gets a little more involved, boys and girls, with the footage, with the networking, with the relationships and friendships that I've made over the course of the past 6 years or so, I would never change it. Dude, right there. I know you can't see because I got very skinny arms, but the hair is just standing up. My arms are probably transparent through the camera, but the hair is just standing up, talking about that, because it's so cool what it's turned into. And again, I would have never have thought that. But that vibe between wrestler and fan, let's talk about that, because that's a dance like none other. And I know, just take this roller coaster with me. I may come back to the training. We just do this thing however we do it. But but that energy that you guys and girls are bringing through that curtain, and we're feeling it, and we're bringing it back, and we're doing this dance. Talk to us about that coming through the curtain, doing the whole Battle Academy Rawr. And I gave you a goddamn good one, didn't I? One time over at CPW, I believe it was. I gave you a good one, baby. But you come out, you guys and girls give us your energy, and we give it back. Talk to us about going through the curtain and just feeling that right there.
It's especially, it's not a feeling that goes away either. When you step through the curtain and you hear whatever reaction you're going for, whether it's the cheers or mostly for us, it's boos. When you step through that curtain and there's that reaction, it's a surge of adrenaline that doesn't go away for sometimes hours. You'll get back in the locker room, you'll sit down, and you'll be like, wow, that was something else. It's, I'd always look at some of these wrestlers and like, why they're wrestling 45 years. How can they still, manage to do this? And then you step through the curtain and you get that feeling of the crowd's reaction. And it's like, I'm at now, and I'm just doing it in front of 100, or so people. Mostly, they're doing it. Some of these guys are doing it in front of tens of thousands. So it's like, as soon as I felt that for the first time, I was like, I get it. I definitely get it.
That connection with I always speak on this with the talent, because it's one of those tools in the toolbox to become a professional wrestler. Connecting with us, the fans. You guys are obviously a heel or bad guy faction collectively. Even when you're on your own, when it's you and Lorenzo, you and Nick, or Lorenzo and Nick, or Skylar and Lorenzo and Hunter, or what have you, the whole combinations are almost endless here. Probably could do about a million different variations of that. But I'm no mathematician. We all know that. But being the bad guys, man, I'm telling you, you guys and girls, you do it right, because you're getting that response not only half the time, not only in some of the places, and all of the things that I've seen. Because again, you've mentioned Fogman. When I'm not at I watch Foggy's footage, so I want to see what the hell is going on. I want to keep my eye on the pulse. That reaction is there every single time. At almost every, and I do mean every single damn promotion, and no matter where you guys or girls have been to so far. That is something that it takes single wrestlers like years to accomplish at times. How do I find my footing in this world of wrestling? Why am I not getting these reactions that I'm striding for, that I've seen on TV for so long, that I see other wrestlers do? You guys and girls, every single time. Is there a secret recipe that we don't know, sir? What's going on there? How do you do that?
I don't know if there's like a secret recipe. I think it's just, we kind of just go out there and we do our thing. It's some of that stuff becomes muscle memory. We talked about the Marios and Pauls and Chris that we learned from. It all leads back to their teaching on how to behave when you're, face or heel, or, how you interact with people. It's all that psychology is, kind of beaten into our brains by those guys. So, again, kind of always going back to these guys, but it's the truth. They really gave us these tools to be able to go out there and do something like that.
You use the word psychology. That's one of those big tools again. And I mean, that's a big percentage of becoming a professional wrestler, is understanding the psychology of it. A lot of guys and girls don't get it for a while, but a lot of guys and girls do get it, and they run with it and they utilize it. And I mean, you guys are a perfect example of that, because part of the psychology, because there's so many bits and pieces of the psychology. It's not just in ring. It's when you walk through that curtain and make us boo you. That is part of the psychology. That's one of those little pieces that make up that whole package of psychology. But I want to we all do our own stuff and everything, and I love to pick out Adonis Stewart because he's so loud, he's so boisterous, he's such a fan and he really knows who to boo, and he really knows who to cheer, and he has his absolute. And we know Kylon King is his. That's his John Cena right there. Kylon King is definitely his John Cena on the indie scene, probably in the entire universe. And I know I've had him on this show, but if he said something different, I really can't remember at this point. But it's probably just Kylon King, anyways. Fans like Adonis that bring that extra energy. Some of the kids that go to the PAPW facility, they bring the extra energy. The older crowd, and I know I've just turned 52, but I'm even talking older than me. And there's this one lady specifically. I know I'm kind of putting them all in one package, but there's this older lady. She was kind of shortish. She will point her finger. She will scream at the top of her lungs.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going back to the Morozov days when the Pyramids of Power, Morozov and Zafar, they were all doing these nefarious acts. I've seen her cry because she was so damn mad at them some bitches that beat her bad guys. This is what we're talking about. Adonis, the children, all the way to this lady that legit cries because she's so damn pissed at the stories that are unveiling right in front of her. And her favorites are being torn down from the bad guys that she absolutely hates. Hunter Tarca, I know I kind of yammered a little bit about that. That's all part of psychology. It's a big part of psychology, bringing us on that ride with you, the wrestlers. But seeing that, stuff like that, from a wrestler's point of view, how do you not, as they say, break, if you will? You're hearing a kid like Adonis. You're walking up to him and you're giving him the business as he's giving you the business. How do you not break, my friend? How do you not do that?
That's kind of, again, we're kind of going back a little bit. It's like that moment you go through that curtain. For I'll speak for myself again. When the moments going up to that, Hunter, I do one of these and I'm him, and
Okay.
I've only been doing it in front of crowds maybe a little over a year and a half now. I've only ever had like one scenario where I've just about broke. Seeing that reaction from the fans like that, it means we're doing something right. And I know you're gonna ask what was the one time that almost broke me. It was not this past CPW show, but the one before, in the beginning of our match against me and Lorenzo's match against Gibbs and Dalton, before Dalton did what he did. During their entrance, Gibbs brings out his butter churn.
I knew we were going, yes.
Yep, he brought out his butter churn, and he holds it for Dalton, and Dalton does the thing right over his manhood there, and I had to look away. I had to go look at a turnbuckle or something. I had to sit down and reset for a minute because that almost got me. I see Dalton in the back. I was, you son of a bitch. I can't. That was the one time where I was sitting there. I was looking. I was like, get it together, man. Get it together.
Oh, and it's really so very recent, and it holds a dear piece in my heart, my friend, because I clipped that from my vantage point. So the entranceway is this, okay? I'm sitting right here. They get in. Now I'm on the opposite side of Gibbs where Dalton is in the front. Now, with this, and I'm just gonna take a little tiny, one of those little tiny brushes and fine tune that canvas, fine paint, add a little like outlines, if you will, little details. I'm telling you, from my vantage point, dude, it was. They get in. He holds up his thing. It's all nice, and he's holding it nice and proud, like an Amish guy would, I guess. And boys and girls, and we've spoken to Mr. Dalton about this specific, and Mr. Gibbs, in our ear holes in the music is Mr. Dalton's theme song coming out, "Stroke Me," well, by Billy Squire. Well, the music is going, the lyrics start stroke, and my man, I don't know, this was definitely not done by design, because Jack Dalton absolutely was like, I wish I would have waited. Stroke me, start singing, and my man starts digging in on that butter churn. I start yelling, hey, this is a family show. What the hell? Woo! Well, one of my all-time favorites, Hunter. I am so glad that is right there with you, because, man, I will never, ever forget that. That is one of those moments as a fan. And this is what we always talk about, boys and girls. See, the talents, they even take some of the stuff that happens in ring, and they take it home on them. They keep it in their memory. And hey, we're all people, man. It's not like there's some kind of superheroes that aren't human or whatever. Some people might think the talent is as such, but they're just human like us, and they take those memories with them. Love that story. Absolutely love that story. I'm gonna keep on the fan part of it if I could. Now, I tried to get something off the ground, and I don't care if anybody doesn't do it, but me, I don't give a rat's ass. You guys come out collectively. If there's 5, 4, 3, 2, it doesn't matter. You come out, you do this Battle Academy, Rawr, and it's pretty straight. But I'm like, how can I F with the Battle Academy? So I said to Cindy, I said to my love, Cindy Hart, I go, I got to mess with the Battle Academy, and I'm going to try something tonight. And I don't care if it doesn't catch on, but I'm going to keep doing it. And you guys do your thing, and I wait till it's just a little bit quiet enough to where I can get out. I stand up, too. I make sure I stand up. Battle Academy, meow. And I want, I love that reaction right there first off, and then I like the reactions that I get from the surrounding fans. It's a little, I personally get a kick out of it, and so don't the fans. And also, Fogman's been bringing a little Hello Kitty, because we've been getting Hello Kitty. We've been getting that off the ground, baby. That's catching a little bit of steam. Look at that face, yes. Talk to us about these interactions again, because I know the fans really drive what's going on with the story, what we're seeing. But not only that, continually, Hunter, Tarca, and company comes out, and now we're starting to fucking say Hello Kitty as a chant. Talk to us about said scenarios, please, sir.
It's never in a million years would I ever think I'm getting ready for a match or a fight or whatever, and I hear a grown man like Fogman behind me yelling meow at me. Never in a million years. And then I went to, I think it was Shut Up and Wrestle was the first time I saw the little Hello Kitty thing. That, again, never in a million years. I'm sitting there looking at it. I'm like, I mean, I had to give it up for the Hello Kitty, the little doll. I had to give it up to him. That was unbelievable. I was like, holy cow.
Oh, that tickles us so. I've said it a zillion times on these things. We, the wrestling fans, are so fucking easy. We catch on. We clamp on to the simplest things. It doesn't have to be vulgar and swearing. It doesn't have to ridicule. It doesn't have to, be demeaning. You can be so positive and have so much fun, and not nitpick at the dumb shit that you may see that was a mistake, if you will. I don't like to use the B word. I think it's ridiculous. Mistakes happen. It's fucking nature. And I'm sorry I'm dropping F-bombs here, but things like that really get me heated. I like to go and have fun and do these interactions. That's why we go to the shows, my man.
Yeah, I think, and there's a point in there you touched on with the swearing. That's one that, especially at PAPW, that's a huge, and other promotions in the area, but yes. PAPW, that's pounded into your head. There's no cursing. Yeah. And I think it's easy to drop a F-bomb at somebody, F you, whatever, and get that kind of reaction. But, that's something I try and also avoid doing, even when I have the opportunity to. Because you never know who's in the crowd. There's little kids in the crowd. I got a couple rules in life, and cursing in front of kids just that rubs me the wrong way. You know that. So and think about it. How many times have you heard me swear ever?
Never,
Never.
not once.
I mean, I said SOB earlier, but you know, in the public eye, but it's you
Yeah.
know, it's something that I just I think it's overdone. Look, you know, that kind of thing. You know, cursing at one another, whatever. You know, it's a lot easy. It's a lot harder to come up with an insult for somebody when there's not that curse word in there.
Right.
And I think that it shows a little bit of extra effort.
And the effort, but professionalism, man. And I'm gonna kind of get away from the fan stuff because we could go on and on about that for another hour. um, oh, before we do, I'm sorry. Shit, I don't even know where I was gonna go because I got 8 different things stuck in my damn one brain cell. Cursing and professionalism. Okay, professionalism. I'm gonna put a bookmark right there. One more interaction. Boys and girls, I've talked about this one. This is another favorite of mine. But now we've got the guy himself, the Battle Academy member himself, right here with us. I've been bringing cookies to PAPW. I don't know why. It was just something I wanted to do. There's a Dollar General. And I've been going to PAPW for a while. Why this just started happening does not have a clue. I do really not have a clue. I just thought it'd be nice to hand out some sweets. Everybody goes there. There was really, no snacks around, and so people don't bring stuff with them. So I figured I'd hand out some Chewy Chips Ahoy and make some new friends and try to keep the ones that I got. So I started doing that kind of regularly, only at Paradise Alley Pro at the small, at the training facility. Well, Mr. Hunter Tarca come rolling by. Now I'm sitting on this side of the ring. He's on the far side of the ring, walking this way to come this way in front of me. And now the entrance, he's walking this way. The entrance would be this way. So he's going to come around the ring that way. He's all bent in half, which I love to see. But he's all bent in half. He comes around the ring, comes in front of me and swipes my cookies. There was 2 cookies in the package. Little did he know, and everybody else except for my love, Cindy Hart, I went underneath my seat and I produced a brand new spanking package of Chewy Chips Ahoy, not even broken open. And I held them some bitches up and I pointed them out. The fans went crazy. Hunter Tarka went crazy. And there's a picture from One Smooth Lens Photography from a distance from the back of Hunter Tarka, all pissed off, and me on the other side holding up that package of cookies. I know I talked a little bit about that one little spot, but my God, Hunter Tarka, I've said it even to your parents at the shows. One of my absolute all-time favorite moments in wrestling that I will never, ever forget.
Yeah, and it wasn't exactly something we went over either. Like it just kind of happened.
Oh God!
And those moments are always the best. And it was in my head. Well, I was getting one over on you. 2, I was, I saw it and I just took it like Dalvin Cook, man. I grabbed it like a running back, tucked that thing in there, threw it in the rubber, and then I turn around and you're holding that thing up. You gotta be kidding me! You gotta be kidding me! No, that was a good one. That was definitely a good one.
The memories that we take, my man, that's what wrestling, for me, that's what wrestling is all about. And I love every single one of them. Absolute gems, every single one. Now we can move on. Since you were here, I had to talk about, I thought I almost left you speechless there for a second after I was done. The professionalism we were speaking of, not cursing and knowing how to carry yourself as a professional wrestler. I love your gear. Collectively, you try to keep some kind of uniformity, if you will, between the whole group of you, because you want to look like you're members of something. You want to be kind of similar. Not exactly the same, but you want to look kind of similar. I said this to Mr. Nick Lynn and Skylar Gray. I applaud you guys and girls for doing that because it shows professionalism. Let's talk about the gear. Is it an inspiration from something? Does it represent anything? And who's the gear maker?
Well, my gear was made by a guy named Coy Phillips. it was kind of playing off the first name Hunter. If you look at the logo on my chest and stomach, it's kind of shaped like a crossbow, like an old style, like huntsman type weapon. And that's something hunting and that kind of stuff. That's something that I actually do in real life. That's something that's kind of where the first name came from. Kind of that ruthless predator that, has no mercy, if you will. And then the rest of it's just a cool pattern. The rest of it was, Chris helped me. I'm artistically, I might as well have all thumbs, dude. Like I'm no thumbs. I can't draw anything. So Chris helped me out with that, and we got it done. And I think it came out pretty good.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You look, as I say, you look the part. You look like a professional wrestler, like you're supposed to. You're putting in the time. You're putting in the effort to make sure you're properly trained, to present yourself when you come out that curtain as a professional wrestler. Not all guys and girls do that. I speak about it all the time. I wish they all did, but they don't. But you personally, Hunter Tarca, along with the Battle Academy, you guys and girls do, because you give a shit. And we can see that you are professional in what you do. And again, I absolutely applaud you guys and girls for doing that, because I don't want to see it half-assed done. I want to see it professionally done, because you're working cameras that we're holding. You're working maybe a hard cam that's at the promotion. You're working in front of somebody that may be a promoter in a different company that's standing against the wall. You have no clue who you're working in front of every single time you come to that curtain. And that makes a professional, when you come through, you look like a professional wrestler, and that's amazing. And that shows, again, the passion and the effort and taking the time to get it done. Tarca, where are we at with the Hunter Tarca?
Well, Tarca is my shoot name. That is my real name.
Okay.
It's originally my family is Italian. I'm third generation in the States. Originally, the name was Franconi, but when they get to Ellis Island, the F looked like the T, so they just kind of shortened it up and they just rearranged some of the letters, and there you go. So there's no meaning there. It's funny that you call Jake Nick all the time, because that is my shoot first name.
Get the F out.
That is my shoot first name. I've been meaning to tell you that for a long time. So when you first started calling him Nick, I kept looking over, because I was like, how does he know? How does he know? So
no, I had no clue.
I little bit of something there for you. So I was very confused at first when you first started doing it. So I was like, this guy following me? What's this all about?
No, the origins of that is, I looked over at him because I wanted to do a quick Kincaid file, a selfie style,
Mm-hmm.
When I walk around and mess with the talent a little bit. And I went to hit record and I go, your name is Nick, right? He goes, no, it's Jake. I go, excellent. I hit record and go, Dr. K. Here's Enrique K. Files. I am here at blah, 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 blah with my man, Nick. And it stuck from there.
So yeah, you hit a home run with that one. That got more than just him.
Wow, what a full circle little thing we did there, boys and girls. And we did not plan that at all. Those organic things, my man, like we were just talking about with the cookies. Organically, these things happen between the wrestlers and the fans. Oh, the best, the absolute best. And now, you guys and girls have been spreading your wings from promotion to promotion now. And I absolutely love seeing that, because we want to see him get away from the home base, because you get comfy at home. You're in front of your family, your friends, kind of the same opponents that you may be training with or may not. But you don't get to challenge yourself. You don't get to get more experience. So I absolutely love seeing you guys go into different promotions. Do you keep track of this stuff? Do you know how many promotions Mr. Tarka has kind of got his foot in the door of so far?
Um, I'm sure I could list them off. I don't know an exact number. Obviously, PAPW,
Yeah.
Hunt's Home, um, NEW,
Mhm.
Tough and Talented.
Yeah.
Shut Up and Wrestle. This. We just keep CPW, Blood, Sweat, and Tears. Those are pretty much the main six that we've kind of spread our wings to, as you said. Love working for all of them. They've all been good to us. We've met a lot of great people there.
Yeah.
And it's traveling to these places, the rides and everything. It's such an awesome experience, and then to get to the venue and have extend to that experience and having your friends at different places, it's awesome.
Well, they do say the drives and the hangs with the brothers and sisters are sometimes, a little bit. It's a different experience, but it's just the love that you guys are sharing with each other when you get at these shows and whatnot, and the the fun that you have on the road and whatnot. And before we leave, we're gonna get a story from you. I hope we'll get a story from you. But yeah, that's what it's all about, though. These experiences outside of the matches, I've heard, are even they surpass the matches. At times. Not all the time, but at times they really do. You've got guys, you've gone against, so many different talents right now. But right now, your current CPW, the first ever, and no one, and that's what I love first evers. You're the first ever CPW, Coliseum Pro Wrestling tag team champions, alongside with Lorenzo Vendetta, and that Skylar Gray was there with you guys at that time. I'm not saying she did anything or whatever, but you guys are the first ever. No one can ever take that away from you. How is it to feel? How does it feel to be the first ever in any promotion? That's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. CPW, as you said, it's a new up and coming promotion. And not only that, did we win the first tag titles this past weekend. Chris became the first Strong Will champ. So kind of also, I don't know what you're talking about with the whole Skylar thing. I got no idea what you're talking about with that. But yeah, it feels amazing. And to have to wrestle twice in one night, it definitely feels rewarding.
Yeah, see, the Battle Academy, all sorts of gold going on. Chris now, he's the big champ over there at PAPW, and now he's the brand new, and again, first ever. They've never introduced it until this past event at Mega Clash. Won it in a triple threat, if you will. That was something. A strong-willed champion is one Chris Battle. So yeah, man, Battle Academy collecting some gold. Great to see. I know that there was this event not too long ago, and I've talked to Skylar about it. CCW being Cosplay Championship Wrestling. Did you see or hear about any of this stuff?
Yeah, I saw some matches. I watched Skylar's. It seemed pretty cool. It seemed like a cool concept.
It's something totally different. Yeah. It's for 3-day weekend. There's like 5 shows in a matter of 3 days. It's at a Kineticon where that is perfect environment for what they're doing. It's not like, I don't know if regular traditional wrestling would actually work in that environment and people would like really want to swarm and be around that. I think this is actually perfect because they got like 400, 500 people over there that kind of hang out and check the product out for CCW. I think that's absolutely amazing. But seeing Skylar part of that, and we talked about it, being the Black Canary, I go, how did they, how was this approached? Did they tell you what character to play, or did you request a character? And she was like, no, they told me to do the Black Canary. And I go, were you familiar? She's like, no, not at all. I looked it up and blah, blah, blah. I came out. Screaming is what I do, kind of thing, So I came out and I screamed a good game, had a fun match, and she wrestled the whole weekend there. So I wanted to I've been bringing this question to the few of the talents. If you Mr. Hunter Tarca were to go. And now, boys and girls, if you're not familiar with this Cosplay Championship Wrestling, it went, again, the 3-day weekend, 5 different shows. They bring video game characters, comic book characters, anime characters, probably more. They bring them to life. And the wrestlers come out in these depictions, emulating these characters, and they have a match. But you get a little bit looser with it. You get to embrace the character and have just a different kind of fun at that wrestling promotion itself. But Mr. Tarca, if you were to be part of the CCW at next event, we'll hypothetically say, look at them think. Is there a character you would like to bring to the table that Hunter Tarca would come to that curtain as?
No, I think I could pull off an Anakin Skywalker. I think
Anakin Skywalker.
Anakin Skywalker. I think.
Wow.
I think I could do that. I think that'd be fun.
Now that's not even close to any answer that I've ever been given. The hair, keeping it a little bit wet. I can see that, my man. Yes. A beast.
Little braid. Yeah.
Yes. Oh my God, you're killing me now. I can totally see it. You would be a beast of an Anakin Skywalker. Holy cow. That would be awesome. I'd like to see that. CCW brass, higher ups. Let's get this rolling, man. You got an Anakin Skywalker at the ready. Who would you like to fight? I never asked that question because now you said Anakin Skywalker. I'm seeing, Darth Vader and such coming up to becoming Darth Vader. But who would you want to fight as Anakin Skywalker?
I think people would get a kick out of an Anakin Obi-Wan fight. I think people
Nowadays?
I think people would get a kick out of that. Who would be interesting? Maybe maybe somebody like a Goku or something, like one of them other super powerful characters in that sci-fi world that'd be a pretty cool matchup, I think.
Well, I'm not a booker by any stretch of the imagination, and I was just thinking, as you said, Obi-Wan. What if? I don't know if this has been done before. Probably not. But Anakin Skywalker / Hunter Tarca, Obi-Wan Kenobi / Chris Battle, the mentor, the student, Obi-Wan, Anakin Skywalker. We have correlations there, my man.
Yeah, that'd be something. I just don't think we'll get Chris to cut his hair for it, though. That's the only thing.
Oh no! Let's not do that.
Have to be a wig or something.
He would have to be the first Obi-Wan with a man bun. Woo! I can just see it now. I'm down. By the way, higher ups of CCW, get this shit done, please. Sign this shit on the dotted line. Man, that was fun. Glad that brought that up. That was good times. Tag team champions. Chris has got some gold over here. Chris Battle, the Red Lion himself, the Strong World Champion. He's a heavyweight champion of PPW. We need some gold for one. My buddy Nick Lynn. Jake. All right, boys and girls, it's Jake Lynn. I don't want to confuse you. It's really Jake Lynn. Jake Lynn. Skylar Gray. I'm sure she would love her some gold too. So promote it. And I know that PPW is one of these promotions that we do not get to see I guess, women's division, if you will. So kind of Skylar gets to just beat up a bunch of dudes over at PPW. And it's like, what the hell are they doing to her? I say bring them. Yeah, I told her, I go, they should bring in a women's division just for you specifically, since you're like the queen of the mountain here. But she's like, I don't need none of that. I'll kick a bunch of dudes' asses. I don't care. But would you like to see a women's division or something? Because I've always questioned why they don't have one at PAPW. And I don't know specifically, but would you care to see one there?
Yeah, I mean, women's wrestling is getting bigger and bigger by the year. And I think it'd be great to bring one into PAPW. and every promotion that doesn't have one. It just seems to be, to me anyways, that there's not a whole lot of female wrestlers as much in the area. And, when you don't have enough people to fill a roster, it's a lot tougher. But yeah, Skylar doesn't need a women's title. She beats up most of these guys anyway. She's right. She don't need it. She handles herself with these guys, man.
When she yells at me to sit down when I'm already sitting down, I pop every single bleeping time, and I always
the floor. Move the chair down.
Yeah, sit lower. Yes. I pop every single time, and that's her call, and my response is usually, but I'm already. Why do you tell people, or why do you yell at people that are already sitting down to sit down? Because to sit lower, man, so much fun. Just tons of fun with Skylar. My goodness, great presence, the charisma that she brings as Skylar Grey, the character, if you will. Man, unbelievable. Really, really good stuff. Love it. Now I don't get to see Jake as often. I know he was on a little hiatus there for a minute, but when he had a bad wing at one time, we did a debut over at SGW. The hell is it? Not Survival. It's Sacrifice for Glory Wrestling. It was in Bridgeport, I want to say, ish, or Danbury or something like that. I forget. They've only had one show, but Jake was coming out with one Lorenzo Vendetta, and he went against this big bastard Ransom, and I was so stoked because I knew Lorenzo was going to get torn up. Well, I thought Lorenzo was going to get torn up. Not saying that Lorenzo can't handle himself. Don't give me that look. I'm just saying I love me some Ransom. And this match is going on. Ransom gets out of the ring. He chops Lorenzo in front of us. He goes over to one of the kids to my right. The kid, I think he actually punches Lorenzo right in the ribs. And I was like, holy shit sticks. That kid means business. He takes Lorenzo. He brings him over to my left. There's another kid. This kid pops Lorenzo right in the damn jaw. And I'm like, dude, this crowd is for real. And they're only like 6 years old, and then I believe I held Lorenzo. Ransom chopped him, and no, Ransom held him. I chopped him. Then I held him, and then Ransom chopped him while one of the kids held my phone and recorded it. All of that. While in the meantime, all of that is going on. Jake Lynn is on his hands and knees with a bad wing and a dollar bill with those rose glasses, begging us to not do this. Money, my friend. That's what I'm talking about right there. Great stuff from all of you. Singles, together. It does not matter. You know what to do. You know how to act. You know how to bring that presentation. Love it all. Again, one of my most favorite moments in wrestling. Right there, that picture. You gave a beautiful smile on that. I painted it enough because I know you've seen that clip, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Now, as Hunter not being at said event, and you see this come out, do you pop a little? Because that smile is beautiful, but do you pop a little bit watching this unfold?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I was on Lorenzo's neck about him getting beat up by a kid for weeks. That was one of the I love him to death. But I was on his back about that forever. He was like, I saw him the training, I think it was the following Monday, and he was that kid ripped back and got me. I was like, yeah, dude. Yeah, he really did. I was like, I saw your eyes roll like slot machines too. So, and then your chop too. That was a good one too. I enjoyed that also. So thank you for that.
Oh man. I think I just blew my spleen. Oh my God, I'm laughing so damn hard over here. That is fantastic. Fantastic stuff at wrestling. The fun times, boys and girls. That's why we go. I probably said it a couple times already this evening, but son of a biscuit, that's why we go. To get away from the bull crap, to have some fun, a couple hours out of your life. Walk through those doors, forget everything behind you, and just have some fun. Open up a little bit, because Hunter, I'm not I'm not like that in real life, if you will. I'm the opposite of what you see at the shows. I'm very reserved, I'm very pulled back, I'm very quiet. So it brings it out in me. As soon as I pull in the parking lot, uh, bills, bullshit, work, all of it just disappears. There's like a magic force field of some kind. I don't know how it is or why it is. I pull in the parking lot, it just all goes away. I see the wrestling building, the venue. I'm ready to go, baby. Kind of thing. You feel that kind of same way as a talent pulling into the venue or on your way to the venue, being like, I know what I got ahead of me. Sometimes you don't, but I know what I got ahead of me, and I'm going to be around my brothers and sisters. This is going to be some good times because I had a shit fucking week at work.
Absolutely, and you said it. It's what it's all about. Is being that distraction from everyday BS that drives us crazy, and for this to be, wrestling is kind of, with independent wrestling being kind of everywhere. It's awesome that all different places have that kind of escape for people. Whether it's the PAPWs, NEWs, and so on and so on. That's why, especially, I was very excited for like a CPW to open, because it's like, for that reason, it's another one for people to get away, and in kind of a town where, normally in West Haven, where there's, I don't believe there's another promotion in that area. So,
not that I know.
Another atmosphere for people to escape their everyday lives and sit back and enjoy some good old-fashioned entertainment.
Yeah, definitely, man. Very well said. Is this the first character you've taken on as a wrestler, Hunter Tarca? That's the first thing you've done? Nothing else?
Yeah. My debut was March 27th in 2021. I was a part of the Battle Academy. This has been it.
Okay.
And it's been good to me. It's been, to say the least, it's been good to me. And the whole Battle Academy thing has been a hell of a ride.
Now, when you're training,
mm-hmm.
in your mind as a student, you have this vision. I'm going to look like this. I'm going to do these kind of moves. I'm going to talk like this when I come through the curtain, or act like this when I come through the curtain. And this wasn't your original vision. I'm going out on a limb to say. That's correct, right?
Right, yeah.
Because now you're in a faction, there's 5 members, but damn, it's done so much for all involved, not just for the young ones, for Chris as well. It's doing so much for all 5 of you. This is not the norm ride when you're upcoming as a student wrestler as a singles, because that's what you're expecting. Is that correct? A singles wrestler?
That's what I always thought of myself was going to be. I do enjoy tag team wrestling. It is it's something, like I said, I didn't think I was going to be a tag team wrestler ever. I thought I was going to go out on my own,
right.
Be, top dog. That's what everybody thinks, when they debut,
Yeah.
And then, they put me in this group with these guys, and I've been training with them for about a year each. And, there was chemistry forming from all those hours, and it's translated onto there. And, it's been absolutely wonderful. I've enjoyed every minute of it, and I wouldn't want to be in a group with anybody else. These guys are great, and I'm so happy that it came to be this way. And it almost did. I almost wasn't around for when it started, because my old job, I didn't train for about 2.5 months before I debuted. There was a good stretch where I couldn't go. And maybe the second or third time I was back, the idea was through Chris was pitched to us. And so I'm very, very grateful for everything that Chris and the group has done for me. It's been great.
Yeah, because you feed off of each other. no matter if you're all there or three of you or two of you or what have you, you're always feeding off of each other. May it be the in-ring wrestling, may it be the bantering with the crowd, because you guys do. It's almost like there's some kind of relay system at times. One of you will say some stuff, and another one will take over. Not really take over, but you guys and girls know what you're doing, and at such a young age and a young tenure in your career. How old are you, if you don't mind me asking, Hunter?
I turned 23 in June.
All right.
I think I'm the middle child in the group. I think
Okay.
Lorenzo's older. I think that he's the only one, and then Jake and Juliana are younger.
Oh, speaking of Lorenzo, I have a reward coming to me. I don't know if you've heard about this. I think I spoke to Mr. Battle of such at this past BST Mega Clash. I found keys on the floor. So I was going to different people. I went up to Smooth Lens Photography, the little one, Cece. You know of Cece, Keen Cece? So F with her. She just went up yet another belt. I am not messing with Cece in karate or taekwondo or jiu-jitsu or the kumite, whatever she's got going on. I don't want to. But anywho, I asked her, are these your keys? She looked at me like, are you effing serious? So I would never say that, But I go, you're smaller. It's a Mini Cooper. I figured, blah, blah, blah. But no. So I you'll like this one. I went up to Mr. Nick Payne, making eye contact from across the room, holding the keys. He's looking at me like, what in the bleep does this dude got going on? I go, hey, Mr. Nick Payne, don't mean to interrupt. That's what I do. I found some keys to a Mini Cooper. Would they be yours? Dude, Nick started dying. It was fantastic. I wish I had it on video. Believe me, you. And Chris Battle was talking to Mr. Nick Payne at the time, and he goes, Mini Cooper, I know those keys. And I go, whose keys are those? He goes, Lorenzo Vendetta's. I go, he owes me a reward, and you better tell him so. So, seen Mr. Vendetta a little bit later on, and I reminded him if, Mr. Battle didn't, which he didn't. So I made sure I'm getting a reward at the next PAPW show at the facility.
We'll see about that. We'll see. Maybe I won't steal your cookies this time. Maybe that's what your reward will be.
Okay. Wow. You've got some kind of Nostradamus thing going on, because it is very, very cookie related. Very cookie related. But I'm just envisioning you snatching them cookies out of my hand. It's just so damn funny. I love to talk support system. May it be your peers, may it be your better half if you're married or have a girlfriend or what have you, or your children or your family. But in your case, and I've seen it very firsthand, my friend, Family Tarca has been coming out to a lot of the shows to support one Hunter Tarca. That's one of the very things that I love the most. When I see the families coming up 4, 5, 6 at a time. Are you kidding me right now? Love Family Tarca. But I never introduced myself because, you know me at the shows. I didn't want to make them think that they weren't welcome and was dealing with some kind of creeper. So I'm walking by them at a show, and I think it was a previous BST possibly. They were on the bleachers. And I'm walking by, and I go, you guys look very familiar. You wouldn't happen to be Tarca's, would you? Would you? And I think your mom. She was like, yeah. Why? I go, you look just like one of the guys that I love to mess with in the ring. And your dad. Boys and girls, this is how I met his dad. Your dad goes, did you say Hunter Tarca? I go, yeah. He goes, he's my son. And I go, are you shitting me right now? You're Papa Tarca? He goes, yeah, that kid's a loser, huh? I go, oh my God, I love Papa Tarca. We embraced. I ran right up to him. We embraced. And not only that, I immediately, I can't even talk. We immediately, I asked him, I go, if I hit record, can I get you to say that on film? He goes, absolutely. And we did it. And ever since then, I've made a very valuable connection and a loving connection with Family Tarca. I'm sorry I kind of rambled on there, sir, but I really had to paint that picture.
That's my dad. That's my dad.
But
all kinds of love there.
I know I went into a different thing here, but that's your support system right there.
That's my dad calling me a bum in front of everybody. Thanks, Dad.
But Family Tarca coming out and supporting you, you must feel it, and it's got to be a little extra. You must almost go a little extra seeing your family out there, my man.
Yeah, it's a very comforting feeling to know that, you know, there's people out, you know, especially in the sea of booze that we get, that there's a few people that don't actually hate me. So it's, generally it's my parents and my brother that go, and try to get my brother to get in this. I don't think he ever will. He's definitely, you've seen him. He's definitely got the size for it.
Yes, he does.
But he's got a passion for the gym, but not a passion for wrestling, which is cool. Cool. But yeah, I think Mario tried to get him to, because I think one of the first times he saw my brother, which he's getting into stuff like powerlifting and stuff like that. So 18 years old, squatting over 500 pounds. It's absurd. The first time Mario sees my brother, he stopped him, took his ticket, looked at him, and he said, "Hey kid, when are you joining my gym? When are you joining my school?" And my brother laughed off, took his seat. But yeah, they're sometimes they boo the loudest too. So you feel that love, and you can hear that love from wherever you are in the arena.
Absolutely. I just want to reiterate this: seeing the support when it's even, and I know when just a sibling or somebody comes out, it means a lot. But when you're getting 4 or 5 at a time, dude, I just absolutely love seeing that. And when I hear them cheer, I do the same. It's almost carbon copy from the previous show. What the hell are you people doing? And who the hell are you? And I'll do a drive-by, kind of thing. I'll be like, who are these people? Great stuff. Good stuff. Wrestling, my man, wrestling. Absolutely love it. But that kind of brings me to I wanted to speak about my love, Cindy Hart. She made a top 5 for the Battle Academy. Her favorite top 5 Battle Academy member.
I hate these lists.
And she said to Lorenzo that he was number 4. He was like, "What the fuck? Like what the heck? There's only 5 of us." She goes, "I know." So I don't know if that's changed because her list has kind of jostled a little bit over time, if I'm not mistaken. But I made my own. And while we were at CPW, where yourself and Lorenzo Vendetta, along with Skylar Gray, won those beautiful championships, it was pre-show, and I gave your dad my top 5 for a very specific reason. Can we go through my top 5? Is that okay?
I feel like you're going to anyway, so go for it.
Yeah, probably. So my first and foremost would be Jake Lynn, just because that kid is just bleeping magic. He's money. He's fire. His facials, his mouth. He has him in a cravat right now, and learning us. All of that stuff, the begging of the dollar bill while the children are legitimately beating up his brother, Battle Academy member Lorenzo Vendetta, firsthand. All of these things, I just absolutely love Jake Lynn. So he's my number 1. My number 2 is Skylar Gray. She would be number 1, but Jake Lynn is my number 1, and nobody can take that spot. So she's number 2 just because she scares the living shit out of me. That's why she's number 2. Again, she would be my number 1, but you guys have Jake Lynn, so he's my number. My number 3 is Hunter Tarca. Now, Hunter Tarca would be my number 2, but Skylar scares the shit out of me. So that's why you're my number 3. You would be my number 5, but I love, and I told this to Papa Tarca, I absolutely love Papa Tarca. He holds a place in my heart. That's why you're number 3. So it's solely due to Papa Tarca. My number 4 would be the leader of the Battle Academy, Chris Battle. I know he should be number 1 because I'm so sorry. So sorry.
We're back.
I know he's a leader and should be number 1, but Jake Lynn is number 1. My number 5 is Lorenzo Vendetta. No love, Lorenzo Vendetta. I don't know. We've had a couple interactions, and he needs to kind of, if he does this reward thing, he might jump up to number 4. Sorry, Chris Battle. We'll see where that goes. But that's my top 5 order faves of the battle.
All right. I mean, I always think I should be first in the list, but that's just me. I think I'm pretty great, but I get it. Jake's hilarious, so he's more than earned it. He's more than earned it. And Skylar is terrifying, so I also get
that. Hashtag facts on both of those counts. We were talking memories and stories and stuff, being on the road, and some of those experiences are sometimes surpassed or matches or what have you. If there's any possible way, please, oh, please. Could be 1, could be 2 if they're short. Could you talk to us and tell us a little story about on the road, having some fun? Could be at a gas station, could be on the road, whatever the case may be. Could be eating at a Waffle House. You never know where the boys are going. I'm sure there's a story or 2 or something maybe you can share with us.
Yeah, I'm sure I think of one. Well, first off,
Okay.
kind of got to do a quick little rant here. I haven't told you guys yet this, but when I drove them to the Taco Fest this past Saturday for PAPW, they left my car a mess. So they left it a mess. Jake left a packet of those gummy snakes, and it melted in my car, and now it's just one big gummy. It's still in the bag. It's still in the bag. I don't got to get a paint chip or anything, but I forgot to tell them about that. But one story I can think of, it was a colder night, beginning of the year. It was late. I want to say I forget where we were coming from. We were on our way back, and we stopped at a truck stop, get a little bit of something to eat. And we're walking back, and I'm thinking to myself, what can I do to terrorize Lorenzo right now? What can I do that would just absolutely just mess with his night? Like, what can I do right now? So I forget who was, I want to say like Jake or somebody, record this. So he's walking, Jake's kind of next to me, Lorenzo's walking in front, and I just run up behind him. I rear back and I smacked his ass as hard as I physically could, and he just about left the ground. And I can still remember his wail of pain. I was just, oh, you piece of, He's like, and it was funny. We were talking about it the other day. He's like, dude, because it was so cold and you hit me so hard, I felt it in my toes. And I got the video somewhere on my phone, but I did not hold back. That was maybe a little overkill. I went maybe a little too hard.
And when it's cold, oh man, it's ever so worse.
Dude, my hand was hurting. I could hardly drive. It was awful.
Thank you for sharing, my friend. I appreciate that.
He's gonna tell that one.
That's a great tidbit. We may clip that one. Now, oh dear. Look, you were talking about watching the footage back and whatnot. I wanted to speak on, being a wrestling fan and wanting to do wanting to become a wrestler and train to become a wrestler. Is this something, wrestling you've watched since a kid? Is it something you've just grasped onto? Because I've seen guys that just said, "Hey, I'm going to try this out," and I've seen them become wrestlers. So have you been a fan all of this time here?
Um, I started being a wrestling fan when I was around 13.
Okay.
I grew up, my mother was a fan before me, and she was kind of watching it, and I was born, and it went to the PG-13, the edgier stuff. And she's like, I don't really want my young son watching all this stuff. So it kind of didn't, I kind of didn't get a grasp of it, really what it was until my early teenage years. And I think it's weird. I have a terrible memory, but I remember the first Raw I watched was when The Rock unveiled his new title.
Oh, wow.
After the Royal Rumble.
Okay.
And there was a whole thing and the weeks following, it was the big Undertaker guy. That was my guy growing up, with him and Punk for the build to WrestleMania, and I was just hook, line, and sinker. I just addicted to it since.
Your move set, your look, the creativity, the way you promo and whatnot. Are you taking bits and pieces from anyone that you looked at on TV and being like, you know what, I can maybe utilize some of that? And I remember this was some of my favorite stuff. I might take some of that, but make it my own or anything like that.
I don't know that I'm drawn from any one person. It's kind of just, I look at my background. I was an amateur wrestler in high school, rugby player, that kind of thing. So just kind of like high impact, sometimes technical moves, sometimes just high impact moves. Those are the ones that I kind of gravitate more towards. Trying to work on some striking, but for the most part, like the suplexes and stuff, and the big tackles and that kind of stuff. That's not necessarily taking it from any one person. Other people obviously do it, but I think it just fits me better in my history, better, or my past, I should say, better.
Yeah, definitely because of your physique and the way you come out there. You are a beast. Along. I just want to point out something real quick, and I don't mean to take away from Mr. Vendetta or Skylar or Jake. It almost seems, maybe it's just me, it almost seems when Chris is not with you guys and grows that Hunter seems to be a leader of the Battle Academy. Am I seeing something there or no?
It's not really something we really plan. It's not something that we like, oh, you're kind of second in charge or whatever. It's just kind of, when we go out there we're without Chris, we're just trying to help each other. And, there's some things that we all do better than others. So we just try and fill those spaces for everybody else. It's kind of just, it's Chris then all of us. There's not really I wouldn't necessarily say that I'm a second in command. I don't know if there's like
number one
corporal or anything, if you will. If it appears that way, it's just kind of I don't know. It's just kind of, I don't know. I wouldn't even say that's what like I said, it's not something we're trying to do.
Right. And I'm not trying to start a pot with the entire Battle Academy, no pun intended. But again, from my vision as a fan, I just see you more of, I know no faction likes to say there's a leader, if you will. We're all just a faction or the camp or however you present yourself. But you kind of do seem that you take on that leader role, to me personally as a fan. So maybe it's just me. The product. We were speaking, you're watching the WWE stuff as you're growing up in your teens and whatnot. But the product nowadays is obviously flourishing between the higher platforms on TV to the indie scene is just out of this world. How many promotions are out there? Are you watching any of the current product being the bigger companies, the AEWs and WWE and stuff like that? Do you kind of keep your eye on that stuff?
I kind of see it on like Facebook and Instagram and that kind of thing. I haven't really, and occasionally I'll watch, usually like WWE pay-per-views pay-per-views occasionally. I'll watch some of those, but
Right.
for the most part, I just see kind of what happens on the internet.
Right.
Because, like I said, training is Mondays and Wednesdays, and I work full time, and so sometimes when I get home or I got to go to training, it's kind of on in bad spots where it's not as easy to watch anymore for me. But yeah, it feels like wrestling is kind of in the last couple of years kind of resurged again. It's getting a second wind, if you will, and it's really kind of become mainstream again, and it's awesome to see.
Yeah. It because I mean, not that it wasn't very busy pre-pandemic, but now it's even more than ever. I mean, holy cow.
Yeah.
I was speaking to some of the talent post Shut Up and Wrestle 24 this past weekend, and I was posed a question because that's in Holyoke, Mass. Obviously,
Mhm.
I was posed a question. Hey, Kincaid, how many bleeping promotions do you got in CT nowadays? And I go, there is a number of them. Let me count the ways. Bam, 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 bam. I got like 7 deep, my man. And maybe 8. Actually, no, there was 8, and 1 or 2 might be on a hiatus, but you can't count those. You gotta what's active, what's going on right now. And I counted 8 promotions that are actively running in Connecticut. I've never seen anything like that. Are you kidding me?
That's like I said, wrestling is resurging. It's awesome to see. It's especially as somebody who's just kind of getting into the role that I'm getting into of
Right.
being the performer. It's awesome, and it's kind of reassuring too, because it's like, I got all these. It's like it's almost even overwhelming. It's like I got all these options. I want to go to all these places. I can't be in 5 places at once. So
Uh, 2 more topics before we go. Is that okay?
yeah.
All right. Um, shit, I forgot one. Again, that's my one brain cell. It might come back to me. Probably not. Who knows? Um, oh, long term. Are we talking, are you looking to get onto the dub and the AEWs and the ROHs or whatever is going on out there? Or are you looking to stay in the independent scene because some want to make a livelihood? Some are kind of comfy doing what they're doing.
Yeah, I'd love to. I kind of don't. I'm trying not to put a ceiling on it. I'm trying to just kind of ride it out, see what I do. I'm gonna put in the work. Somebody throws a contract at me. Obviously, I'm gonna definitely look at it. Um, but there's not like I kind of want to just see what I can do. See how far I can take this thing. And in 10, 15, 20 years, if all I do is independent stuff, I'll be happy with that, because at the end of the day, it's about chasing your dream, and that's what I've had the opportunity to do. If that's the case, and I just have a bunch of cool moments on the indie scene, then I'm very good with that.
Especially as much fun as we have. I mean, it's almost criminal how much fun we have at the shows. And might I say, I know you said you're 23. You speak professionally. You carry yourself very well. Mama and Papa Tarca, very well done with Hunter. Very well done. Carry yourself very professional. Even on the interview. And boys or girls, another first timer. Love, love, love that. Love, love, love that. Always an honor and a privilege to have first interviews with the talent that we bring on STP. Absolutely, some of my favorite stuff right there. But there's I want to show you something real quick, if I could. Check this out. BST. At BST.
Yeah.
There's this Brianna Lynn. She did a very fine job, and she put this coloring book, Blood, Sweat, Tears, Mega Clash, and it's for all ages and such. And there's probably about 10 pages or so that the kids can color, and it's absolutely amazing. They give you, a little packet of crayons and whatnot. But I wanted to show you, because if there's somebody that's on fire right now, speaking about the young talent being on fire, here's one guy that's been in the business a little bit longer than you guys, But then we have a guy that's right out of your home base and around your age, a couple years younger. We have this was for the heavyweight championship, a ladder match. The Cure, Lucas Chase against the champion, Dustin Flash Waller. I'm pointing this out because I really think that is just a kick-ass concept with the depictions of the wrestlers themselves. They're not fully detailed with the face, very kind of roughly outlined and stuff. Look, absolutely amazing, man. What a fun concept, for wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Not only that, they had blank, like a little rack there with blank pieces of paper, construction paper with crayons and pencils, and you can make your own signs and boo and cheer who you want over there with some ready-made signs. I thought that was really cool as well. They were trying to get a little bit more involvement with the fans, and I thought it was a really cool idea as well. I wanted to point it out because hey, you never know, Hunter Tarca might be one of those guys on there.
You never know.
You never know. Could be immortalized in a coloring book. I would love to be in a coloring book. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that'd be wild.
Mr. Tarka, you've been so open with all of our conversation, and again, I don't write nothing down. I don't even know if I've touched upon all the topics you might have thought we would be touching upon. Is there anything I haven't talked about that maybe you wanted to bring to the table? Because we covered quite a many a topic, my friend.
No, I think it's been a fun conversation for sure.
It definitely has. What do you have on your schedule ahead of you? Could you maybe give us a date or two that you have coming up?
Yeah, I got this coming weekend. I'll be heading out to actually Indiana. I'll be a part of a battle royal for Black Label Pro out there. Me and Lorenzo Vendetta will be heading out there.
Really?
Yeah, this weekend, Saturday.
Talk about doing the drugs, my man.
It's gonna be. We're leaving Friday night. It's gonna be a long night. Yeah, about 13, 14 hours. Yeah, so it'll be a long one. We got alley fights coming up beginning of the month. Start of the King of Paradise tournament. That's always a big deal down there. A couple more alley fights after that. NEW coming up soon. I believe on the 10th. If I always get my dates mixed up, I believe it's Saturday the 10th. There's a few of those I got. Those are a few coming up.
All right. I'm glad you mentioned NEW. I know you did earlier, maybe once or twice. Kind of wanted to pull that promotion out a little bit because they're, and especially not in just our area, but when they travel and whatnot, they're very well known to bring in a lot of big names on each of their shows, not just one every so couple months. They bring in active AEW. They even bring in former. We'll even call it a Kurt Angle and whatnot. But they bring in a lot of big names to their shows, which gives the local talent that they have on their roster a chance to gain these experiences from these guys that come rolling. Like I've seen Flip Gordon against Ricochet, 2 different promotions back-to-back nights. One of them was NEW, one of them was XWA. But these are the things that I'm talking about. Like NEW is, it's a little different than the others because of the names and the brand of talent, I guess you could say, that they bring in. You being in NEW right now, you've been there for a couple minutes now. It's got to be a different environment over there comparing to others. Is that correct?
Yeah, there's definitely kind of an aura about it, on a certain level of expectation to be better, especially when you share a locker room with the Flip Gordons and Dan Moffs and guys like that, and the Wrecking Ball Ligurskis, and there's those are just the guys that have been on TV, and then there's guys like BRG, Brick City Boys, Waves and Curls, those guys, but it's a great place. It's great for the fans and the guys backstage too. It's really been really, really grateful to have the chance to be there.
And it's one of those promotions where we were talking earlier. getting more eyes on your brand, on your product. You and the battle, because you're there with Chris quite often as well, a tag team. Have you done singles at NEW or just a tag team?
Only tag team so far. Only tag team. You never know. Which I would be more than happy to keep doing it. Teaming with Chris is a lot of fun,
Yeah.
and again, he's just so full of knowledge. To have him there with you when you're actually out there is it just takes that to a whole nother level.
Yeah. Like you said, having them right there, especially in a tag team match, gaining these experience every single time you learn just a little snippet. It could be the way you turned around or went to do a reversal, and maybe somebody said, "Hey, hey kid, instead of this is what I like to do. Why don't you don't have to, but this is what I like to do. It goes a little bit smoother or something." You can take something away from almost every single match that you have.
Absolutely, absolutely, and the guys that are there, I've been able to speak to some of them about the matches, and they just having that extra insight, as you said, maybe a point of view that you don't have, and maybe, oh, I would do this instead of this. Oh, that's brilliant. Why didn't I think of that? And then
Right.
you make the switch. So that's, like I said, great environment, and I'm very, very grateful to be there.
I always correlate music and wrestling. When I was rolling with the music, you have to take the good feedback with the bad feedback. Wrestling, it's the same exact way. It's another art form, if you will. Mr. Tarca is acceptable to both sides, so you can learn from the good and the bad, correct?
Absolutely. Sometimes it was a great quote. I want to say it was maybe a Muhammad Ali quote. I might be wrong on that. Don't quote me on that part. But you learn more than from your failures than your successes. That's a I've had matches where I look back, I'm like, ooh, boy, that stunk. I was no good there. And you go back and you watch that one 3 times and you learn 100 things that you could have done different. And you watch a match where you're like, oh, that was pretty good. And maybe you take away one. So yeah, failures especially, you learn a lot from them.
Again, you hold yourself very professional. You speak in a very smart manner, and your time on here is so valuable for us, the fans, because not all talents may want to talk about wrestling, but not all talents will talk about all the things you throw at them and stuff. You've been very open, very informational. We've had a bunch of laughs. I think I blew my spleen. I'm gonna have to go to local medical facility and have that checked on. Such a fine time. An hour and a half with a member of the Battle Academy. Who knew, boys and girls? I thought he was going to hang up like 10 minutes. That's what I'm talking about at the beginning. I almost didn't give him the benefit of the doubt. And here we are, an hour and 30 minutes later. Mr. Tarca, amazing. Thank you so much for spending the time with us, the fans. I appreciate all of that.
Thank you for having me. Yeah, I've had a great time. This has been awesome.
Now, before we do let you go, we got to get the deets, the info, because it's 2022. Without the social details, we can't find you. We can't get new fans. We can't get new eyes and maybe new promoters on the brand Battle Academy, the brand Hunter Tarca. So hit us with the Twitter, the Pornhub, the OnlyFans, whatever you got. Hit us.
Well, Twitter and Instagram at the Hunter Tarca, no capitals. Facebook Hunter Tarca. Trying to get a YouTube channel off the ground, post some of my matches. Hope to get Taco Fest ones up soon. Also Hunter Tarca. And one last thing I would like to say before we do head off, would like to today or tomorrow, very impactful day. Tomorrow was the 1-year anniversary. Lost Big Jim. It's been a rough week for a lot of people. I know that. I wish I could have gotten to know more. I got the shirt on here today. And my prayers to his family. I hope they're taking this to get together, and I'm sure they are, and be together, and to the wrestling family. Hopefully, celebrate his memory. Probably have a glass of whiskey in his honor tonight.
Don't spill it.
Wouldn't imagine it. Wouldn't
Don't
dream of it.
Don't spill the whiskey.
Won't spill it.
at this past BST, I was wearing Lucas Chase, but underneath I had my big gym shirt because that was his 1 year anniversary. That was the date of his last match. I was there at his last match against Dustin Waller, the then champion. Recorded the match, even did an intermission promo with him outside. He was wearing this mask, and I was so deathly scared of Big Jim as a human. He's so ominous, but with that mask on, makes it even worse. And he was carrying a chair. What do? I go rolling up, asking him for a promo. I got some screws loose, but in honor, I'll never forget it. To this day, Mr. Waller has never even watched that match. It's just something, something he just hasn't. He's not interested in doing. He remembers going through the door before the event started that Big Jim put him through. Yeah. he's never watched the footage back.
I actually watched it back the other day. I saw you reposted it, and it was his from your Facebook, and I watched it back and brought a tear to my eye to think that it's crazy that he's already been gone a year. I remember talking to him the day before he was at that training, and I remember how happy he was with that last match, and it's something a lot of people don't get the opportunity to have that last one be on one of your favorites. And I know he loved what him and Dustin did, and I'm happy that that's how we got to end it. It was on a high note like that.
Yes. I've said that to some of the surrounding friends when things were unfolding back then a year ago. I was just like, you know what, man? He loved that Dustin Waller, and Dustin Waller loved him, and he knew that match was fire, probably midway, probably quarter of the way, 3/4 of the way through, after the finish, going home. He knew that match was fire, dude. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I knew. That's for damn sure. Looking through my phone, I knew that was fire. And not only that, wow, Dustin put my man through a door as well. He was like, oh, you want to do something to me? I got something for you. So that was something I'll always hold in my heart, my man. Thank you for remembering and sharing that, because it is, it's been a little touchy past couple days or so,
Yeah, it's been a tough week.
Hunter Tarca, we boo him at the shows, but boys and girls, has a beautiful heart, has a beautiful family. We have great times at the shows with Hunter Tarca and company, and I would not change a bit of it. And I haven't picked out anything that Mr. Tarca said, that I really want to call this episode. And I'm just going to stick with my original title. Well, my second original title, because my first one was Battle Academy Meow. I don't want to do that to him. So I'm going to keep it to the second title that I was going to call it, Battle Academy Rawr. That's what I'm calling this title right here, calling this episode right here. I think it's very fitting, my friend.
A lot more fitting than the first.
Before we get ourselves into more trouble or any trouble, boys and girls, this is Stirring the Pot with Don Kincaid and my very special guest. Before I would let you go, boys and girls, not only Hunter Tarca, you got to look up Battle Academy on the old face page too. Just the way you hear it, spell it just the way you hear it. 2 words, Battle Academy. You can't miss it. It's right there. It's got a good picture of the whole crew over there. Battle Academy on the old face page. I don't know if there is other social pages, but I want to at least say that one.
Yeah. Instagram also at the _ Battle Academy. No capitals.
All right. I'll have to get on the old IG and pop a follow. This is Stirring the Pot with Don Kincaid and my very special guest, 1/5 of the Battle Academy, Hunter Tarca. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you for having me. This was excellent.